So, this is Ori. This time, Silly Quiz seems obsessed with some strange characters. It actually looks a lot like Extra King's evasion motion. Unfortunately, that wasn't the correct answer. The correct answer was actually Shermie right before the whip attack judgment comes out. There were also comments mentioning Shermie failing to grab as an expensive answer. Actually, Shermie became a trash character even after Awakening. Honestly, unless you're someone who's really strong in mind games, she's truly a useless trash character who can't do anything. There are some people who are especially good with this character, but if they had chosen another character and spent that practice time, their rank probably would have gone up by 1. It looks like a motion that raises the price of entry, and when you use it, the rapid hits connect surprisingly well. When used at long range, it can cut off opponents with low jumps, but against those with high jumps or strong hitboxes, getting your head smashed is just a daily occurrence. With Cammy, both close and long range have the same motion and performance. This basic move is useless since it won't hit crouching characters. You can technically use it as a poke in combos, but it doesn't work if the opponent is crouching. This isn't useful in any situation and is awkward to use, so I can't recommend it. This is standing B, which produces an E hit. Though it appears slower, its startup frames match standing A. It shares the same performance and motion for both far and close range. Though it's a basic move with an E hit, confirming hits for combos isn't as easy as you'd expect. You can only cancel after the first hit. If you go to the second hit, it's -4 frames with long recovery, so you'll get punished. Pressing B carelessly up close will just get you countered. So what do you think will change if you cancel? This move has flaws no matter what you do, so Selmi is designed to get punished. So if you know Selmi's weaknesses, at least you won't get completely humiliated. Anyway, the older guys probably won't pick this character, but let's dig into the flaws so you don't get humiliated. The hitbox is well designed for zoning and makes a great long-range C move. The downside is that it's a bit slow to start up, but there aren't many people who can dodge it right after seeing it. The reach is longer than expected, even longer than his foot fencing. But if you just call out God King, does that guarantee a combo hit? If you spam Selmi's primal attack, you'll pay for it, even if you're just poking. It's only effective for zoning if used occasionally. Using it often gets you punished. Try another move for zoning with Selmi. Among Selmi's standing basic moves, Close C has the fastest startup frames. If you use it as a lightning fast, safe move, it won't hit. But once it does hit, the cancel itself is pretty reliable. Except for being vulnerable to lows, it's a basic move that can also hit mid. It's a useful standing D for aggressive anti-air. As shown by the hitbox, if you manage distance well, it's a strong basic move. If the opponent does a shadow super jump at max range, you'll usually at least trade hits. But why would you use this even at close range? If a stand type character just sits down, it turns into an R-rated game that only shows panties. Recovery frames are some of the longest in the 98 series, so if the opponent is pushed back and quickly attacks, you'll get punished. Using this move up close is basically a death sentence. Especially against Iori, you'll get punished very easily. Anja's attacks are extremely fast. The hitbox is decent, but the reach is extremely short, so no matter how much you try from the front, it's hard to rack up a lot of hits. Still, if you get used to using it well, it can be pretty effective. This makes Anja happy with the fast attacks. It's easy to catch the opponent's call with this. If it lands well, you can get up to 3 hits, and it can even connect to standing B. Use this to catch their call. If you pull it off, you can deal some pretty brutal damage. This is Anja B, Selmi's main move, which significantly reduces her hurt box. Anja B lets you easily dodge standing projectiles. Unless it's a jump attack that hits extremely low, Selmi will win. If the opponent can't cover the lower area with their attack, this move is very effective as an anti-air. You can combo into her reverse normal, but it doesn't connect as reliably as a force link. Even just using this well will make it hard for your opponent to rush in with jumps carelessly. Selmi's main anti-air normal is crouching C. Of course, if you're worried about getting far C instead of close C, you can use this instead. It has the same startup frames as close C. Its hitbox isn't great, but unless the opponent's normal is very strong, you can still contest. Since it cancels into a special, it can also disrupt your opponent's timing. I find it easier to approach with this move instead of trying to use close C safely. It's also easy to cancel into a special since it's not a command move. Just like crouching B, crouching D has a significantly reduced hurt box. Additionally, its reach is surprisingly long. Since the hurt box is smaller, it's mostly for anti-air, right? If you use it unexpectedly at max range, it's hard to block, but if it's blocked up close, you're almost guaranteed to get punished. Since you can't cancel it either, you should never use this normal up close. Jumping A is a trash normal with no redeeming qualities. I showed Choi's lightning move to the opponent because it's the only move that rushes in with a high jump. Its hitbox is high, so besides the lightning move, it's awkward for air-to-air use and can't counter most characters' jump attacks. Even comparing it is a loss. If the opponent crouches, this normal can never hit. If you rush in and still win, you have to question if your opponent is even human. Don't be sad about jump A. Using flying new kick with B is more effective. B has longer reach and a better hitbox than A. The only downside is B's startup frames are just slightly slower. Selmi excels unless facing top performers. And jump B can hit the opponent even if they're crouching, but it doesn't cover the lower area completely. It can hit. Selmi, the key to jump normals is jump C. Honestly, if he didn't even have this, he would have been at the very bottom tier. First of all, Selmi is unique in that even with a short hop while close, he can cross over the opponent. There are almost no characters who can do this. Because of this unique trait of Selmi, his jump C becomes insanely powerful. Thanks to the crazy horizontal range of his attack hitbox, it's really easy to cross up the opponent. If you press it a bit early, it hits in front, but if you wait a bit, it hits behind instead. With this kind of mix-up, you can completely mess up your opponent's sense of direction and defense. While jump C is specialized for mix-ups, D is for rushing in. The hitbox isn't great, but its long reach lets you cover things easily. It also has a cross-up hitbox, more than expected, but if you want a cross-up, C is more stable. The hitbox on the vertical jump D is crazier than you might think. Personally, I think this is a normal move that deserves a score similar to Ralph's vertical jump. The downside is that it can only be used with a vertical jump, but if you can get the opponent to jump in and Selmi can just activate it, it's the best choice. Now, this is a special move combo that is useful whether it's a single hit or from anywhere. Some people use this as an anti-air, but if you're that quick and have such good sense, please just play another character instead of this one. Used alone, the second attack is an overhead. Canceling removes the overhead property, but with a safe air cancel, it can still connect if your opponent hesitates. It's effective as a frontal jump attack, but cancels leave you too far for the final move. If you start with a side guard, the combo connects reliably. With a frontal jump rush, it's easier to skip the special move. After a successful side guard, you can easily use the special move and detonator punch, but starting with a frontal jump rush makes it hard to connect the detonator punch. The best move to mess with your opponent is Chui Pang. The downside is that you're left vulnerable for quite a while before the attack actually comes out. Even though it's a command move, it has both overhead and forced crouch properties. It's mainly used as a cancel together with jump silent. There's nothing better for pressure. Even if the opponent tries to guard like this, there's really nothing they can do to punish the delay. Even at point-blank range, it's hard for the opponent to punish if they guard, but if you use it too predictably and too often, they might catch on and go for a back attack, or they might just keep guarding and mash their win command like crazy. If you fail, you'll also experience the movement penalty. If you're lucky, you might be able to break each can like this. These days, because of a certain streamer, this move is called Bad Breath. It's a very effective move for keeping your opponent in check. Every time it succeeds, it can make Selmi feel the pressure of having his movements read. When you use the whip during a combo and think you might get punished, if you lay it down close for mind games, opponents often get hit by it unexpectedly. Personally, Selmi's projectile is really hard to jump over. Show absolute hell to those who underestimate Selmi and challenge him, but if your opponent completely figures it out, will Selmi be the one going to hell instead? If Unt explodes in the corner, you can add it to your internal strength combo, though this is rare. Still, it's good to know that thing. It's such a pointless skill. You wonder if it's not Sail's dance, but the dance of the useless one. If your opponent doesn't have skills and is the right size to make them guard, it's not bad. The guard damage is actually pretty decent. It can be cancelled, but it doesn't connect into a combo. Even when it lands, the opponent usually has the advantage. Sometimes it's safer for them to guard. It's a wild skill that chips their guard, but if you're hit, you die. If you use an invincible move mid-fight, Selmi gets caught immediately. Additionally, if you're up against a user who's good at dash attacks, even if it's blocked, it can be reversed. It looks normal, but it's actually an abnormal projectile whip. Aversion's C is 2 frames slower to start, but since it lasts longer, you'll end up using only C for combos. If you don't have enough meter for a super combo, there's nothing you can do. This is your main move without meter. If you use it with Yatoro, its short reach actually makes it not connect. And as you saw earlier, if the opponent crouches, you can't hit them. Grabbing the opponent is so frustrating it can drive you crazy, especially when they don't use their best moves and just hit you from behind. But if I use my luck, it's a different story. Volkerdune and Selmi both have risks, so honestly it's best not to pick them. For combos and anti-air, Selmi is perfect with inner strength. The attack frame is so fast that it's crazy. You can even use it as an anti-air. All the other skills have lost something, but this inner strength is the only one that still has top specs. You can also use it as a light attack, but only the attack power version is light and activates much faster than before, even faster than the original Mary Maba. Though Selmi's own skills lack something, the copied skill is actually improved. When Selmi uses it, it's much faster and still wins, even with max inner strength. It has a Psycho Punisher vibe. If you guard, it looks like it's hitting multiple times, but if it hits, it lands just one clean blow. But does the max version add another hit? It really looks like a cool move, but the actual hitbox is just trash. It's all show and gets interrupted easily by a single basic attack. Even the max version doesn't really improve the hitbox or change anything. If you use this like a true Korean player and go for a counter, it's different. Its high damage will make your opponent hesitate to attack carelessly. I'll wrap up this video with the final boss fight. I already knew this character was supposed to be weak, but I was surprised at how unbelievably bad they actually are. Honestly, if the opponent just crouches well, Selmi really can't do much at all. Unless you're planning to target your opponent with unpredictable mind games, I recommend just playing another character. But if you still want to play Selmi, I suggest just playing Domer instead. It's already March. Are you keeping up with your New Year's resolutions? We're trying to upload our videos more often, but it's not as easy as we thought. That's all from Code for now. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and like, and leaving a comment would really mean a lot to us. Thank you.